Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today for our cooking demo. This is a cooking demo that features EatLove, a meal planning platform. So EatLove is a meal planning platform that is used by our dietitians, and it is a really cool platform where the meal plan is interactive but also personalized. The dietitian gets to put in a specific prescription for each client that uses this, and it breaks everything down based on calorie needs, any macros that we need to pay attention to, and also any micronutrients. So for this example, this patient has high cholesterol, and so this specific prescription is tailored for that to help maintain that. And I'm going to be cooking a recipe from that platform. And today I've decided to do two recipes. One of them is going to be a broccoli chickpea bowl, and then the other one is going to be almond chocolate dates is what it is called. So this is going to be the broccoli chickpea bowl. This is a recipe by Kidney Nutrition Institute shared on EatLove, and very simple, very quick and easy. And I am modifying a little bit of the ingredients, which I'll talk about later, just based on what I have in my pantry to minimize food waste, but pretty much same idea of what this recipe already is including. And then the first thing that we're going to make is the raw chocolate almond dates, and really simple. Today is also Valentine's Day, so I just thought something a little bit on theme with chocolates, but this is a slightly better option than chocolates. Although if you want to eat chocolates today, totally fine. I love to eat chocolate, but this one does offer a little bit more as far as nutritional value, just because we have dates included, some healthy fats from almond butter, as well as some protein from that, and then delicious chocolate and also some walnuts. So we are going to get started with cooking, and I'm going to show you what I've got. So the nut butter that I'm going to be using today is this Nutso organic. I did get this at Costco. You can use any sort of nut butter or seed butter that you would like. I do like this one just because it does have a blend of different nuts and seeds. And I also like to choose unsalted and no added sugar ones. So this is a good option. I also enjoy Trader Joe's brands of nut butters, nut and seed butters that they have at a very affordable price, and also no added sugar. And then these are the chocolate chips that I'm going to use also from Trader Joe's, dark chocolate chips. Again, you can use whatever that you have at home. And then the other thing that you're going to need is going to be an oil. And this recipe did call for the extra virgin olive oil, but you can also use avocado oil if you would like. So the first thing we need to do is get our dates. Oh, and I didn't show the dates. These are the dates I have already pitted. If you have dates that are not pitted, you're going to have to open them and de-seed them. And this recipe is for 10 dates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh. And then these are also already pre-portioned or pre-cut for me since they pitted it. So since they already pit it, and so all I have to do is open them. Dates are, again, a super nutritious food, good for everyone. Also a good pre-workout fuel. So if you're someone who feels like you need a boost of energy, dates are perfect. Oops, I broke that one. That's okay. All right, so you're going to open them up and then fill them up with some of your nut or seed butter of choice. Pretty simple and easy. So we have that, and then we're just going to put this aside. For this recipe, we are going to use half a cup of chocolate chips. And then that goes with a teaspoon of coconut oil. So just like that, and then into the microwave for 30 seconds. I do prefer dark chocolate over milk chocolate or white chocolate. It just tastes better to me. And then there are a little bit more like phytochemicals in darker chocolate, but just use whatever you prefer. And for this particular recipe, it's just a little drizzle on the dates. And then again, you can even just stick like chocolate chips on top of it. Basically what I do is I'll literally like kind of like ants on a log, and I'll just stick it like that. And then a little bit easier than having to melt chocolate. So still needs another round in there. And while that's going, I'm going to show you the ingredients for our next recipe. I did prepare that already, but even without preparing, and only because I'm doing this as a cooking demo, but really simple ingredients. All you need is some cooked rice or instant rice, some yogurt, olive oil, vinegar, some sesame seeds. The recipe calls for chickpea, but I'm using pinto beans instead, and then also cabbage, but I didn't have cabbage, I have lettuce, and then broccoli, and then the recipe is asking for the Primal Kitchen vegan ranch avocado dressing. I don't have that one specifically, but I did have the Primal Kitchen avocado lime that they did send to me to test out, so I'm excited to try this. So one of the cool things about EatLove is that you can look up recipes based on different filters. So for me, although I'm a dietitian, I love cooking and I like to test out new things. I'm still also short on time. So one of the things I did to decide the recipe for today was to choose things that could be made in 30 minutes or less. And then I also used the feature of searching specific ingredients. So I did know I wanted to do a plant-based recipe. So I looked up beans, and then I also know that I had lettuce that I wanted to use. So I looked that up too. And it pulled up different ingredients that I could utilize. Actually, the one I searched, it was beans and the broccoli, because I had purchased a bag of broccoli, and before it goes bad, I wanted to use that. So here's the chocolate where it's at. Still needs a little bit more time in there. Hopefully just one more 30-second interval. And then when I did that with the search, it pulls up a bunch of different recipes, and I kind of just looked through and chose the one that I felt was the most appetizing that I wanted to eat. And so this is the one. I think bowls are super, super easy. And then I was lucky I had this. And again, like I said, I made the swap from cabbage to lettuce. And then instead of garbanzo beans, I'm using pinto beans that I have in my pantry. That's the one that my kiddo likes to eat. So that is why we have more of that in my house. Okay, so I think this is done. Yep. So nice and melted. That took about 2 minutes, I think. So not too long. And then now all you got to do is drizzle over it. That looks so good. Oh, that one has the chocolate chips. It's okay. A little bit more chocolate. I like chocolate. Ooh, and then I think the recipe also called for the walnuts. I did not pull that out of the pantry, but that's something you can also top here. You could put it beneath the chocolate or on top of the chocolate that we're drizzling. And then basically after you let the chocolate drizzle, you just put it in the fridge and let it sit. It says for an hour, but you can even eat it right now, actually. It doesn't really matter, but just depending on you. But I will pop this into the fridge. All right, so now let's get back to our main dish for today. And again, this is called the Broccoli Chickpea Bowl. So you can use instant rice, which is what I'm using today. And the one that I have purchased is this Seeds of Change organic quinoa brown rice with garlic. This one does have a little bit of sodium in it. And our serving, I believe, is half a cup for this recipe. So in half a cup, I'm getting about 180 milligrams of sodium, which is not too much. And then I think the only other thing here that also has sodium would be this avocado lime, and this recipe calls for 1 tablespoon. So 1 tablespoon has 120 milligrams of sodium. So overall, this is a pretty low sodium. This is considered a low sodium meal. So for the recipe, so if you don't have instant rice and you're going to be cooking it, obviously you're going to have to spend time to cook that. One of the things I like to do with grains is cook a huge batch in the beginning of the week and then kind of have it throughout the week. And one bonus of cooking grains ahead of time is that they build what's called resistant starch. So rice, potatoes, and pasta. Once you cook it and then it cools down, that resistant starch is what develops. And basically that's a fiber that isn't processed. It's a carb, but it's not processed the same as the carb that is not fiber like resistant starch. And so there isn't as big of an impact like on blood sugar, and it's also just beneficial for our gut bacteria. So this is the brown rice and quinoa. And when you're having a plant-based meal, you do want to pair a plant protein with some type of whole grain so that you get a complete amino acid profile. So for this recipe, the pinto bean, right, is our plant protein as well as some carb. And then this is also offers some protein as well. And paired together, they provide a complete amino acid profile, which I know that some people, when following a plant-based diet, you feel like you might be missing on certain things, but that is one way that we get that complete profile. So the first step for this is to get your rice. It actually says to do it separately, but I'm gonna save time and I'm gonna do it together. I'm just gonna microwave these two things for about 1.5 minutes. And with cooking broccoli and how long, it really depends on what you prefer for your texture of the broccoli. So some people like it softer, some people like it more crunchy. So that's going to determine how long you are going to cook or microwave that for. And you can add a little bit of water into that bowl if you wanted to kind of like steam the broccoli a little bit. I didn't do that, but you can if you would like to. While that's cooking, we are going to make our drizzle, which is the yogurt drizzle. So we have here 1.5 tablespoons of yogurt, and I'm going to combine that with a tablespoon of olive oil, which I have here. And then this recipe also, one more sub I made because I don't have this in my pantry, is it asks for apple cider vinegar, but I'm using rice vinegar. And then a tablespoon of this vegan ranch dressing. Of course, again, mine is the avocado lime. And a tablespoon of that. And then we're not really using actually even the whole thing because I'm just gonna drizzle it. So I'm not even going to be getting all of the sodium that it said in the beginning. And just mix that up. There we go, mix it up until it's nice and well mixed together. Smells good, I can smell it, okay. And if you wanted to heat up the bean too, actually this could have also gone in the microwave with that. And the way that they plated it is very beautiful. I'm gonna, I guess, attempt to do the same. It looks like they have their broccoli to one side, the rice right there. And then actually with this too, you can add more vegetable, however you'd like. Oh, it's not gonna look like their picture, but that's okay. And then the beans. And then you just drizzle this on top. And so this is like a quick and easy meal that you can do really quickly. Doesn't take much time at all. And then even with the broccoli, I even bought the one that was pre-chopped, but you can, if you're buying a head of broccoli, you can even do this with frozen broccoli. Just the only thing with that is that there will be a little bit maybe of a texture difference, just because with frozen broccoli, sometimes that can be a little bit soft, but there you go. That's our meal. It's complete protein. Also, oh, the sunflower seeds also add an additional layer of protein. All right, so the dates are also ready too. The chocolate has hardened. So again, I did miss the walnuts to go with it, but that's okay. You don't have to put it on right now. I could even, as I'm eating them throughout the week, I can also just plop the walnut on there and have that too. Okay. All right, so that is pretty much our cooking demo for today. Those are the two things that we made. That was all within, I think, like 15 minutes. So that was it for that. Now I will hop onto EatLove just to give a quick little overview of that platform for you. Okay, so the way that I found my recipe for today is I went to meal search. You can also do this on your main page where you just hit swap. And then when you hit swap, it's going to pull up the different options you can choose from. So smart choices, restaurant meal, choose from favorite, search by ingredients. So I did do search by ingredients, did bean and broccoli. And then, oh, sorry, actually that wasn't the way. Bean, broccoli. And then I wanted to filter it by time, so 15 to 30 minutes. And then there it is, the broccoli chickpea bowl right in the middle, but there's all these other options too. So with choosing, you know, I kind of like looked at it and was thinking about what I had in my pantry, again, just to eliminate food waste and not have to like make a trip to the grocery store. I did consider going to buy chickpeas, but then, you know, I was like, let's try to use what we have, right? So when you're making substitutions like that, sometimes EatLove will also have some substitutes that you can look at here. As you can see on the screen, like it says cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. To be honest, with this one, you can use whatever vegetable, and that's what I typically recommend is if it's a vegetable, swap it for another vegetable. If it's a protein, swap it for another protein. So kind of do like a one-to-one swap as best you can. And then other cool things with EatLove that you can do is utilize the Nutrition Academy that they have, which has some pretty cool tips and tricks about cooking, you know, how to slice if you're not that great. And I will confess, I'm not the best with my knife skills. Ethnic cuisine guide, so if you wanted to explore other flavors. There's some info on exercise, food prep, food safety. I know a lot of people do have questions about that. And one of the things that I do highlight to people is that we want to like freeze food for later. So for example, like today for the dates, right? I made a big batch. I'm not gonna eat all of that, and my family isn't gonna probably consume all of that right away. So I'm gonna put it in the fridge in a food safe container. Usually I use like glass foodware containers, and then I will keep it in my fridge that I can have it for a few days or a few weeks actually. But this guide will kind of tell you like how long can something stay in the fridge. So remember to always date whatever you're putting in to your fridge or freezer so that you don't forget. Also, if you end up making a big batch of something and then you feel like your schedule changes, you're not getting to it, if it's like not too many days that it's already been in the freezer and you haven't like opened and closed the container that much, I usually just pop it directly into the freezer. And that way I have my own frozen meal later. And then whenever I do put things in Tupperware, I do try my best to always put it in an individual portion just to prevent having to open and close something multiple times. It is that exposure to oxygen and changes in temperature that does make things deteriorate a little bit faster. So we do try to just minimize that contamination risk by placing things in individual servings so that, again, I'm not having to like open and close it all the time. All right, so thank you to those of you who joined live, and for anyone watching the replay, thanks for also catching the replay. I hope you enjoyed this cook along, and I will see you next time. Thank you.